I'll send you over the link in a minute. I'll do this first. I've got that. Okay, so that's for the second one.
Phone, will you fucking work?
Okay. So that's on me lappy. That's the roll. Did it? Should we do it again? Oh, that wasn't as good.
Oh yeah, that was close. That was close. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh, what fun we had. Right.
Happy Monday, everyone.
When the silly, stupid things in life make you laugh.
Yeah, that's when you know you're at breaking point.
Okay, so I haven't printed out all my notes.
Okay. We've got waffle room.
To Dylan for him to pick up if you like.
Actually, yeah. I was just moving it while I was sorting my shit out, but that's fine.
One last thing to forget. Can't forget.
Okay, I am going to send some of these to Dylan if that's all right.
Yeah, I'll drop him a text.
Thank you. Are we on?
No.
Are we on? We're on.
Hi, everybody. Oh, are we in? Are we in on
We're
visual?
We're on live, I think. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just doing a post on Insta.
Printing. Tala. Okay. And I've sent you loads of photos through. Have you had all those through, Calvin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now don't try and guess what it's all about. It's a surprise.
I'm not looking.
Okay. What are you listening to there?
I was putting a post on Insta. I just needed to put some music on. It's called Party Starter by Uberjack.
Party Starter.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, have you seen the girl? I think she's from Spain, Malaga. DJ. Oh, fuck, what's her name? Oh, she's about 13 and she does amazing mixing.
Yeah.
And she's just got her first gig. She's going to some America or somewhere, yeah.
There's a little lad I watch on a TikTok. He must be 7 or 8.
Really?
Possibly autistic, but he produces music.
Oh, wow.
And he is unreal at it. You know, the full laptop keyboard and all that. And he's just like, dun, 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 yeah, put the kicks in, put the drums in.
How old is he? 7?
Yeah, dead young, yeah.
You know when you see some of the really talented kids who are like playing drums and stuff like that, and they're up and down the fret on a guitar, and you're like, you know, you're
my
9.
kid can't even colour in the lines.
Exactly that. But that's normal. A normal kid, you know, can't play the drums like Phil Collins. But there's one particular lad who can, and I was just amazed by him.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazed.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm sending 4 things over to Dylan.
Yeah.
And doing it right now. There you go.
Printer, I believe, is currently unplugged.
Oh.
I'm going to get him on that.
Okay.
There might be a slight delay for him getting that to you.
Okay, no worries. Right, Ry, you want the link?
YouTube wings.
So everybody over on the Tube Review, I'm really, really sorry that we're not set up. Somebody's calling me. Nobody phones me. Sorry, it was a sliding stop this morning. It's been really, really stressful. And so I am personally responsible for being as late as we are today.
We're on it.
It's just one of them days, you know. Okay. Hey, isn't it close outside today?
Yeah.
There's no air. It's really humid. Needs a good downpour. Apparently we're going to get some thunder.
I can't wait.
A bit of thunder bang.
I do.
Well, not tomorrow because I'm supposed to be going ziplining in Wales.
Oh,
another reason why I'm stressed, because to have 2 days off work, I've got to work all the time. I was working till late last night and I was up at stupid o'clock this morning. So that's part of the reason why I'm stressed out, because I'm just working so hard to have time off.
Car sales was like that.
But I'm like, it's going to be thunder and lightning tomorrow. Is this thing actually going to go ahead? So I've been busting a gut to get everything done. I'm like, it's going to get fucking cancelled, isn't it? That'd be my luck.
Surely they do it in all weather.
Well, it's Wales, isn't it? You can't keep cancelling things just for the weather in Wales.
Well, yeah. Imagine setting up a place in Wales that could only be done in the dry.
I mean, if it was lightning, you're on a wire. You can't do it in lightning. It's a zip wire.
Maybe make you go
faster.
faster.
It's a mile long, 100 mile an hour.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. We
So
sold them a load of vans.
the rain would be fine, I'm sure, but you couldn't do it in thunder and lightning.
No, you're right.
Somebody who's come to the club, you know, was struck by lightning.
Shut up.
Yeah, he was lovely, still alive.
Yeah.
He's not very well at the moment. I saw him, he came in about 18 months or so ago, and I was like, oh, bless you. He looked like he got away with it. And I think over the years, he's just bit by bit declined.
Yeah.
Little bits and bobs has really
yeah.
failed on him. And he's not that old either, but it's aged him, so, you know.
Yeah.
Shame. Right then.
Right, let's have a look at these comments.
I'm not on Facey.
See what I've missed.
So, everybody over on YouTube, because I've come to a slide and stop today, and I'm a little bit stressed, that is normally the recipe for extra chaos.
Yeah, we tried.
I haven't had chance to read all my notes. I wrote a lot of this within the last 2 weeks because I'm like organised like that, and I just have not had chance to read through it all again. So I'm relying on my 50-year-old memory under pressure.
I think we should have a vote and just do a freestyle episode.
Oh, after all the fucking work I've put in on this, no. Right then. I think we can go live on Facebook and then don't say Facebook on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh,
Say it behind its back.
Right, I'm saying that, but I don't know whether I've got me.
Oh, your tripod, yeah.
Some weird things been happening in the house lately. I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. This just reminded me. In the new house.
Is there a bouncer on your thing?
That's right.
Have you got it? Yeah.
Right.
And we've got 9 in YouTube.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Who's on?
The usuals.
The usual suspects.
Yeah, usual. You could probably name them without even
What,
looking.
is Sarah P there
Obviously.
with Andrew?
I don't know. Sarah P is hubby there.
And if not, does he know?
Is this what it is? Yeah. Does Sarah P watch behind his back?
No, she shouldn't do. But then one day we outed her, didn't we? Because she was watching without him. And we were like, oh, does Andrew know that you're watching the Paddy without him?
You're in shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We should be getting sponsors for putting fucking Coke Zero on the day. Oh, it says my fan on it. Oh, no, it doesn't. It says my fan. I thought it's fan. Oh, nice cold that.
Yeah, that's why I brought it in.
Yeah.
I thought you'd appreciate
Right
that.
then, we need to do it, don't we?
Yeah.
I can't stall anymore. Okay, so we're live on Facey now as well.
Kat, I've got no idea, love.
What's she asking?
Where's my t-shirt?
It's on its way to New Zealand. It takes off 3 weeks.
Oh, that, yeah.
You signed it a while ago, didn't you? So it's on its way.
Yeah, Kat have had a fucking mental weekend, mate. I'll give it a check.
Yeah. Right then, should we go?
Yep.
Episode 96. Fucking hell. Hello and welcome to episode 96 of the Paddy podcast. We're going to be bringing you extra sprinklings of chaos today. Just forewarning you, it's definitely one of those days.
Yep.
Hey, my thumb looked dead big when I did that then. That's a good screenshot. There you go. I'll get that later. Oh, I haven't even slurped my tea and it's probably gone cold now. It's been sitting here since 11 o'clock.
Probably, yes. The Coke Zero's probably
no, do
warmer.
you know what? It's just right there. So I'm chaotic, stressed, flustered. How are you this fine Monday morning?
Destroyed.
Destroyed. Is this because of all the socialising you've been doing and the dadding?
Yeah.
You did like loads of socialising and then you did like lots of family stuff whilst being drenched in sweat, probably.
I'm not going to say it was the hottest day of the year, but it felt like it was.
I think the day before was hotter, to be honest
Friday.
with you. On Saturday. Saturday was...
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday was hot, but it was close. Saturday was just beaten down sunshine the whole time. But I'm not complaining about it because we don't really get it very often. So,
I know.
You just got to get on with the sweat and the heat and all that. You know,
soon gone.
For the 2 days we're going to get it in the whole year, you know. But we love knowing about it, don't
It'll
we?
be raining again soon, won't it? So.
Apparently we're getting thunder and lightning.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, I love a good thunder bang.
I do.
I watched the forecast, read.
Is that what you and Jim call it?
What?
A thunder bang.
Thunder bang, yeah. No, just bang. Do you know, sometimes it feels like a thunder bang. It depends how long I'm rumbling for. I haven't had sex for a few days. I've not had time, can you tell? Oh, we've got 8 people over on Facebook as well. So
love
yeah, it's a
Facebook.
bit hot, it's a bit sweaty, but we're here, we're doing it, and we're looking forward to the thunderstorms. I saw, Sunday's going to be loads and loads and loads of thunder bang right through the night.
Is
I'm
that?
looking forward to that. Yeah,
Love that.
Yeah. Right, something's weird has happened to me recently in our new house. So as you know, we moved in November. The house was built. Told you, it's going to be one of them days. Built, I think it was 1884. So there's going to be some ghosts, isn't there?
Yeah, you'd like to
If you
think so.
believe in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or if you don't believe in that kind of thing, maybe a bit of residual energy.
Yeah, something.
You know?
Yeah.
So if you don't believe in ghosts, but you're like a scientific-y type person, we're all energy, aren't we? When you die, it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So residual is a bit of that. So I've got something fucking ghosty going on in the house. On the very first night we were there, it was like the person came and said hello. I had it once. I am quite sensitive in that way, but I'm still like that. The ghosts to the
Yeah.
very first night, I'm literally on the bed, waiting for Jim, and he's in the bathroom, and all of a sudden the room went really, really, very, very cold, like freeze, and I was like.
That's one of the signs, isn't it?
And I was just like sitting there, and just literally, it almost felt like somebody approached me, came round me to check me out, and just lingered for a little minute. And I felt the overwhelming. You're all going to think I'm mad. I felt the overwhelming desire to just say, "Hi, I'm Vicky. I'm okay. I'm one of the good ones."
Were you naked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like a female though. I mean, that doesn't matter to me. Like. I sort of I introduced myself. And it sort of the feeling felt that it was like for a little bit, and then I haven't felt it since.
I just imagine Jim just like on his way back into the room, and all he can hear from the room is, "Hi, I'm Vicky." What the fuck?
I know, yeah. She's live on Facebook naked. Has she got an OnlyFans that I don't know about? We're about to, yeah. So anyway, so there was that. Then nothing for months. Now, it could have been because we had a lot on, and I've just been a bit distracted, and so I've not really been tuning in. But I'd say about 4 times now, I've thought that Jim was around me, and I've gone, yeah, what do you want? You're okay? And he's not been there. I was in the bathroom, literally heard him walking up the stairs to like the middle floor. Sounds like we live in a mansion. We've got a little bathroom there. I came out the other bathroom, and I was like, Jim, door was wide open. There's nobody in there. So I went downstairs, and you just walked up the stairs. He went, no. There's that. I've heard people shouting me. I've heard people going up and down the hall, which is like quite loud.
Yeah.
Then, the one thing that happened to me on Saturday. Wait till you hear this. So, Bose headphones. I know they're a bit wrecked, but, you know, I've done exercise in them and stuff, sweaty
Bose
and all
Bose,
that, you know. But I love me Bose. So, with these, if you don't know, you've got a switch on the side, and that's off. It's not easy to just switch it on. You can't just slide it across. You have to push it. And then that puts the Bluetooth and everything on. And then you can push it back again, but it's not an easy push. You have to switch it off.
Yeah, it's got a
Right.
kind of.
Saturday, I'm listening to a podcast, of course I was. And I had 2 vodkas.
Of course you did.
One in each hand. I'd just finished cleaning up a little bit. Like, fuck it, I'm having a drink. So brought a drink in for me and Jim. And as I was listening to the podcast and walking into the room, the thing went, doo-doo-doo. And it does that, the batteries run out, or you switch it off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, the batteries run out. It was at 100% on it. So I went in the room, put the drinks down, and then went like that, and it was completely switched off. It's not easy to do. You literally have to push the switch along, and that's why it went off. I was like, So I switched it back on again, and it went 100%. So I had full battery. It had been flicked off.
No way.
So the ghost didn't like the podcast I was listening to.
Yeah.
It was actually Killers, Cults and Queens that I was listening to. If you haven't listened to it, give it a little listen. Cheryl, who was Cheryl Hole, the drag queen, is one of the presenters, and it's funny. So I was listening to that, so they obviously weren't very impressed with my choice of podcast.
Yeah.
So we've got a ghost. I think we've got a ghost.
You must have.
Yeah, it's just playing around with my headphones. Would that freak you out? It freaked me out.
Freaked me out as it happens.
Well,
but-
it didn't freak me out as it happened because I just thought the battery had gone.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It was only afterwards when I had my hands free, so I couldn't even knock it myself. I had things in my
yeah, yeah.
hands. The only once I went hands free and went, then it freaked me out because I could feel that it was off completely.
Have you named the ghost?
No, not yet. We did in the other house. I often wonder if the other ghost is still haunting the new people.
It might come with you.
No, it doesn't feel like the same ghost. No.
The last one, prick.
No, the last one was just very, kept themselves to themselves. And if they did anything, it was nothing, dramatic.
Yeah.
So like smashing glass and all that kind of thing.
That's the type of ghost I'd like to be.
Whereas this one just seems to be a little bit more either conversationalist or a bit more social, wanting to just walk around and let me know I'm
busybody.
there. And a bit of a mink switching me fucking podcast out off at the height of the story as well. I was like, so yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Do you believe in ghosts, Calvin?
No.
Don't you? Just
No.
no.
I am scared of that stuff, but I don't.
Could you be swayed into it if you were to be like exposed to it?
If I were to have an experience,
Yeah.
like I consider myself to be agnostic now because
I'm
I had
agnostic.
a wild experience when I was meditating.
No.
I was like 40 minutes deep into it,
Oh,
crazy
no.
experience, and since then I was like, well, can't be an atheist now.
No.
Something mad happened, and
So something happened.
indescribable.
Did you feel it? Okay. What were you on? Were you taking something?
No. Just meditating.
Just meditating?
I was deep into meditating. I was getting like 30, 40-minute meditations.
So you weren't on any kind of...
No drugs.
Wow.
Nothing.
It's almost like DMT-ish, that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It was. I've seen it described
I
as.
haven't done DMT.
I've seen it described as the gap, and it's like it. I was really deep into meditation.
Yeah.
And I had this, and just for it was like the briefest of seconds. It felt like I saw or was God.
Fuck off.
Some like
Calvin's God.
indescribably, right? Indescribable happened the second, and I couldn't tell how long it lasted for, but the second I then was aware of it and my awareness wasn't on being present, it went.
Wow.
And every other time since then that I've meditated, the second I even start to think about that, which pulls my awareness away from the present moment, it's gone.
Wow.
And
That's
then
cool.
what I've seen that described as is then you see people like Buddhist monks that devote their life to this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Spend years building up to those moments, and it takes years.
Enlightenment.
Yeah.
I talked about Sakoshimbutsu. What did you say? Sakoshimbutsu. I can't do it the same as you. Sakoshimbutsu.
Sakoshimbutsu.
Something like that, yeah. And that is when Buddhists strive for enlightenment through starvation and basically becoming living mummies. So I did that about 5 or 6 episodes ago,
Yeah, it wasn't
didn't
that
I?
long ago. That yeah.
And they push the limits to reach enlightenment. I mean, I'm not suggesting you should like
Limits.
mummify yourself,
But I think
but I mean, you got to enlightenment without
That's cool,
all
that.
that.
I-
Starvation.
I think it's a thing that like it's a known thing that like you sort of have that little flash of something, and then that's what you then spend the rest of your life in service to. I think I'm not super well
I
researched
like that
on that,
though.
but I had one tiny little flash of an experience, and I go, well, I can't be an atheist.
Okay.
It was so like life changing.
Well, that's soul meditation to me because
You got to do it.
Yeah.
everyone's always like, "Oh, go meditate. It's relaxing." Like, oh, fuck off.
I could
So
do with
sitting
a
on
bit
the
of
couch.
meditation, really, just to sort of take myself away from myself for a
Yeah.
little bit and get out my head and just be at peace a little bit.
We should do it one day.
But my brain's a bit too busy to stop.
Got scatterbrain. Yeah.
I'd have to be high.
I'd end up thinking of a scene and just like come off the
Exactly.
meditation and be like,
If my mind is
"Oh, I need
empty
to write that down."
of stuff, it's going to be filled with more stuff that I
A
can
kink.
do.
Well,
I can't help it.
That's the thing. It's not about. I think and I'm no expert, but the goal isn't to rid yourself of having to think. The goal it's training yourself to let go of those thoughts are there. You're gonna have thoughts.
Yeah.
Thoughts are completely involuntary. And what the practice teaches you that has wider benefits in your life is the ability to let go, recognize those thoughts and let go of them. That's where you get into the kind of therapy world of it all.
Oh, okay.
But those thoughts are still there. And
Yeah.
what you learn to do is not let them take your awareness of what you're focused on,
Yeah.
which ideally is going to be your breath, how you feel, like the physical senses of you in the ground. You are
Yeah.
truly present. A thought enters your mind. You recognize the thought, and then you go back to, and you train yourself. And that's why it's a practice. You then train yourself to get better at letting go of that and going back to yourself.
Hey, maybe
So-
we should fucking meditate.
I think we should. I'd just be meditating forever. No fucker get a look in.
I'd be in a permanent meditative
I
state.
would. I'd just be a veg.
It's just getting pushed around.
Do you know what? The way life's been kicking me in the ass lately, I'm like, do you know what? Vegetative state seems like a good option right now.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were that well into it, Calvin.
I was just by way of well, it is. I got prescribed.
Here's our dog.
I got prescribed ADHD
Thank you
medication.
very much.
Have you got any left?
I've got loads.
Bring
Because
them in.
It put my blood pressure like through the roof.
Yeah.
So I got into meditation as a way to kind of reverse that. And I'm not that well practiced. Thank you so much, Dylan. Not super practiced at it at the minute. This was a couple of years ago. But now, like, if I take my medication at work, for example, I'm meditating on my lunch break just to 10 minutes just to bring it down.
That's cool.
I used to know somebody used to be able to have like a little micro sleep. So he'd have like half an hour lunch. I think I was a midwife at the time, and she was doing some teaching, like workshops, and it was dead intense, and she'd have half an hour break. A few students would speak to her, either side of the break, but for about 5 minutes, she'd just take herself away, and she could literally just go and just sleep, and then just wake up, and it was. She said it was enough of a sleep to refresh her, and it made her mind feel more awake and alert, ready for the next part of the session. And I said, "Well, do you not sleep very well at night?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "But my sessions are really intense, and to keep that intensity up all day, every day, would just be exhausting." And she was into meditation and stuff as well, and so that was her way of just giving her brain a rest.
To reset,
for 5 minutes.
I do know the name for that.
Is there?
It's called NSDR.
NSDR?
Non-sleep deep rest. It's also called yoga nidra, is like the ancient word for it.
Yeah.
And it's essentially, you can get them
Scrap them.
guided meditations on YouTube for NSDR.
NSDR. I'm going to type this in now.
So the whole principle of it is that, so for a 10-minute guided meditation, sorry, I'm just part of this podcast now.
No, you are, it's fine.
Let's do it.
NSDR is non-sleep deep rest, a 10-minute video. You'll listen to a voice that guides you to do a bit of deep breathing, just to kind of bring you down. The guided meditation will then talk you through. Hello, Facebook. It will talk you through. It will point your attention to different parts of your body. So it'll start in your head, move to your right arm, elbow, hands, toe, fingers.
Right, we did this in midwifery when we were trying to help women relax rather than tense up with pain. We did this whole like visualization, but like tensing your hands as tight as you can, and then relaxing them, and then being aware of how tight it is, and then aware of how relaxed it is afterwards. And you did that with every part of your body, working your way down or up, depending on how you feel, but mainly up. And by the end of it, I mean, there was a few people who fall asleep, to be honest, but they were in a deep, relaxed state. I must say, not one person that I have ever dealt with has done that in labour. It's just too much.
Yeah.
I think the waves of contractions are just too much to do all that squeezing of your hands and relaxing everything because you just want to kill somebody at point in labour. You know what I mean?
I was seeing a video, I think it was military, and they were saying that the best nap you can have is 14 minutes.
14-minute nap.
So lie down, put your legs up over something, so like one of them.
Yeah.
Lie down 14 minutes.
And put your leg back up. Ryan's put his pins out today. Hey, get the legs out.
So you don't really sleep, but you're just switching your brain off. I thought you were gonna.
No, not live on Facebook.
I thought you were shaping up for that.
Facebook doesn't need to see my titties today. I told you it's going to be one of them days, isn't it? Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, a little 14-minute blast.
Yeah, see, it takes me 14 minutes to think about if I can sleep or not.
Yeah. But at that point, you switch your brain off, you back up, and you're at it.
Yeah, I wish I could just go, right, sleep, and feel refreshed afterwards. No, it takes me ages just to get to sleep.
What's that film where Mr. Bean's got narcolepsy? Race Around the World or something?
I haven't seen that. Mr. Bean with narcolepsy, though.
Yeah, he's waiting for the train, he just...
No way. Right, before we...
Rat Race.
That's it.
I have heard of that.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. Well, the racing to some sort of money when there's loads of people taking part in the race. Fucking Rowan Atkinson's in it, but he's got narcolepsy. Fucking hilarious.
Do you know what? There's only one thing funnier than narcolepsy. I'm not even on script today, folks. We're just having a little chat, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry if you have any of these conditions, but you've got to laugh at these things sometimes, haven't you?
Here we go. Fucking brace, Calvin, brace.
So There's only one thing funnier than narcolepsy, and it's Tourette's.
Oh yeah.
Right. There was a programme on the BBC, and they got about 6 people with Tourette's in the same room as each other. And as you know, people with Tourette's kick other people with Tourette's off.
Yeah.
Some of them made animal noises. Some of them just went woo woo woo. Some of them were swearing.
Yeah.
Oh my God! But the person was opening the door to the next person with Tourette's, and they'd be ticking straight away. And I know you shouldn't laugh, but at the end of the day, they know how funny they are. They wouldn't allow themselves to have been filmed by the BBC.
Yeah.
Triggering each other's tics all over the place. They were laughing at it themselves.
Yeah.
And I think what they were trying to do is, this can be quite a debilitating thing that we've got here, because it must be, holding down a job and all that. But you've also got to laugh at yourself. Oh my God, the tears running down my face. I've never seen anything so funny in my life. I can't remember what it was called now. But then I saw another programme on narcolepsy, and this woman's having a meal. A fella's sitting opposite her, and she's talking away. She just went boomf, and she just put her head in his spaghetti. And I was like,
no.
Is he going to lift her head out the spaghetti, or is he
let
just
her have
going to
a
leave her
nap.
there?
Are you meant to wake them up?
No, I don't think so. You just got to let them come round themselves and just
Fuck
talk. So she was literally talking away. She just went boom. So I was like, is he going to grab her by the ear and lift her out? But also she was going
spaghetti.
It's the spaghetti. I was like, she's going to be wearing it. It's going to be everywhere. And I was like, I thought, he's deciding, do I interrupt and take a face out of the spaghetti?
Yeah.
But by which time she'd just gone, okay, but was just food all over me.
Fucking hell.
I was laughing my head off as this poor girl's got this really bad condition.
Surely that's got to be
laughing.
one of the worst. Like,
oh, people sometimes asleep for like days. But I'm like,
I could do with that.
But you must piss yourself, mustn't you?
Surely.
Because you're drinking before you fall asleep.
Yeah.
Even if you go for a piss beforehand, you're still losing water. So what happens? I mean,
For that long.
I should have looked into it really, because I'm interested in all these things, and I don't know. So if you've got narcolepsy, what happens if you're asleep for 2 days? You need to piss. Do you just piss yourself?
Yeah.
Or does somehow your body, the muscle in your bladder just stop working?
Yeah.
And as soon as you wake up, the first thing you think of is, oh my God, I need to piss.
And what you say to work?
Well, work must know, mustn't they, that you've got narcolepsy?
Imagine falling asleep Monday night and you miss Tuesday work, Wednesday work.
Hey, do you know what though? Narcolepsy would be dead convenient though. If you're having a bit of a bad day in work and you've got like a shit client on the phone or something, you're like, do you know what? Fuck this shit. It's Monday and I'm just not doing it. Boom. I just pretend to be asleep.
Yeah.
And you can't do nothing about it because it's my condition discriminating against me.
Yeah. See you in court.
So, if you've got like a cunt, I said cunt on if you've got a cunt on the phone who's like properly doing your head in,
Yeah.
you could just feign sleep.
Feign sleep.
You're
Yeah.
like, hello.
Yeah, you just bang the phone down to get the.
That's it, yeah. Be really, really good, that. Anyway, we really should get on with the episode, and Facebook needs to go. It's been ages. It's been on about 15, 16 minutes, if not more. Ages. Don't think he's listening to me. So I'm going to switch it off.
He's meditating.
Do you know what? He had his little fucking moment of glory before. I gave her the stage. He was talking about, what was it called? NSDR, meditation, fucking finding enlightenment, being agnostic. Gave her the fucking stage. And the 1 minute I ask him an actual question about his job, I get completely ignored.
It's my fucking podcast now.
Priorities. That's it. He's on our podcast now. Production's not getting done.
He's timestamping all the clips with him, innit?
All the reels are just going to be Calvin from now on. Educating the Pad to Sell podcast fans. So, on that note, we're going to go from Facebook. So if you want to carry on listening to us, head over to patreon.com/the Pad to Sell podcast. If not, we'll see you on Thursday, because that's when this episode goes out to the masses. Happy Monday!
Love you, bye.
Mrs. G said, love you, bye, on the message yesterday.
I know.
She never does that.
I was
You do, but she
downstairs and I'd gone up. I went to the bed. She was like, "There."
Yeah.
I was like, "What have you done now?" She went, "I've just said love you bye to Vic." So like, well, at least there was only to Vic. Right?
Yeah, but you do it all the time. You do it all to all the fans every week.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I've got a lot of love to give.
At first, I thought I was special. Like, love you, bye. I went, oh, that's a mate. No, because every fucking fan of the Pad to Sell podcast gets it at the end of every episode. So I don't feel very special. I didn't do the ASMR.
That'll do. Ooh, that's free, that
Did
as
you get
well.
that?
Free. Lindsay Lou, yes, it does look like I'm wearing ectoplasm, but it's because they match.
Ah!
Little matchies.
Yeah. Right
Little
then.
matchies.
I'm going to get on because we've been chatting for ages, haven't we? So, there's a couple of things on this day that I'm going to whiz through because we are like about half an hour in.
We are 20 minutes in.
Fuck
Sorry.
me. Okay.
Can you?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about everything that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So, on this day,
Go on.
14th of July,
Let's see what I don't know.
1789. No?
It doesn't ring any bells, no.
It was a long time ago. You know, and an awful lot of things probably happened on that day, so pinpointing the one thing that I'm talking about, impossible.
How about you?
You probably haven't even heard of it.
Go on.
Bastille Day.
I know who Bastille is now.
Bastille's a place. Was.
The band.
Is it a band? I thought it was just one guy. Is it a band? Yeah.
It's a band, yeah.
Do you just like relate everything to music?
Yeah.
Or cars?
Yeah.
Or kink?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bastille Day. Are you on the tube of you, by the way? Is anybody saying that we need to know about?
Yeah, I'm in. There's a few people talking about the meditation.
Oh, right,
yeah,
okay.
Deep in a vibe to meditate and stuff.
So, Calvin's impromptu segment was popular then,
yeah,
was
right.
it?
So, yeah, just Cal.
You're
just
welcome,
swap mates.
everybody.
Fucking just tell the masses about you, and I'll sit.
I know, yeah. Ryan can sit in the production chair again.
I've been in it before.
You're a pro now. You sat
Yeah.
in the chair once.
I know it well.
Okay, so Bastille Day. It's a national holiday in France today.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is down to the storming of the Bastille.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of this?
Yes.
You sure?
It's at a Bastille concert when all the fans run up.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Do you know what? And it's exactly that. And you know something about this. So would you like to talk about Bastille Day at the Bastille concert then?
Well, there's many Bastille days. It just depends on when he's performing. And there'll be a certain song that comes on. Sorry, because they're a band, aren't they, Cal? And there'll be a certain song that they play, and that's Storming the Bastille.
Oh, that's this. Oh, okay.
And they all head up, and you know them like mosh pits.
Yeah. I've been in a mosh pit. I had piss thrown over me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Warm as well. Well,
Mix.
it wouldn't be
It's pint
chilled.
glasses, and it was at Donington, which is what's it called, Download now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was in the mosh pit, and I saw people were just like, you know, throwing beer and stuff at the stage until I dried off and I stunk of ammonia.
Would you like that?
I was, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I realised before I dried off, I was like, I was doing all that, and I went.
Oh, he didn't die, did you?
Exactly, but I was what, 18 and 19? If I died at that moment watching fucking Metallica and then Iron Maiden, I wouldn't have cared.
I know. We were on the docks on Saturday and it was roasting. So we jumped in.
You went in the dock?
Yeah. We jumped in. We had a water fight, so we were soaked anyway. I was
What
like,
did you have on?
just my shorts.
So you went home in wet shorts?
Yeah.
Child.
took everything off, and me and some other lad just jumped in, and we got out, and some fella was like, "Are you English?" Yeah, why? And he pointed at the sign: "No swimming, no running, no." You not read that sign? No swimming. I said, "Well, we wasn't swimming, we were jumping."
Yeah.
And just carried on walking. He was like, "Rah." I was like, "Oh, fucking get a grip of yourself." It's like 50 of us jumping in. Go and tell everyone else.
Fun, please.
I know.
I mean,
but then I seen a video on TikTok that night of people jumping in. And I was reading the comments and they were like, "Oh, we used to do that. And then we got loads of ear infections and stuff." And I was like, yeah, I'm fucked here.
Yeah, you don't want to be jumping in the dock. There's all sorts in There's cars and trolleys and all sorts in there, tyres.
You know the bikes that you can hire?
Yeah.
There was one of them.
Yeah.
I said to one of the kids, I said, "How deep's this?" Doing that. It's not deep. It's like up to here on me. I was like, right, so avoid jumping near the bike.
Yeah, absolutely. People have jumped in and really hurt themselves because it's been more shallow than they thought.
It was shallow, yeah. Yeah. Nice
Anyway,
though.
fucking hell, Bastille Day. I started talking like this about 5 minutes ago, didn't I?
Yeah, they're good. I like Bastille.
I'm just going to keep it really, 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 really short. I've actually got 2 pages on this, but I'm not going to say it all because, you know, Why should we? I'm more interested in Bastille the band now. In fact, fuck it. Well
believe
done,
they're a
France. Have a lovely Bastille day. Power to the people and all that. Basically, they stormed the Bastille. There's only 7 people in there, but it was symbolic.
In the band?
They were taken down or taken back, if you like, power. It was revolutionary. You're looking at me like I'd rather talk about Bastille the band. So, all right. I mean, Marquis de Sade, who we've talked about before, was actually in the Bastille at one point. Little fun fact. But he got out 10 days before, and if he hadn't, he probably would have been killed.
Was in a jail?
Yeah.
I remember now.
Calvin, you're not helping. I'm trying to talk about proper history, and you're bringing up Bastille the band. I'm just giving up.
I can't
I'm trying to teach you all something, and you're bringing up fucking some band.
That's it, Pompeii.
Yeah. Oh, I like that song. That one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that Pompeii?
That's a belter.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Do you know what? Let's talk about Bastille the band then, 'cause I like that one. So anyway, we've ruined that short segment. I'm really sorry. Vive la France. Vive la Revolution. Really sorry I fucked it up. It's his fault.
Salute.
Yeah. So anyway, very quickly again, keeping the French theme. Just a little, I don't know whether I actually sent you the photo, Calvin. The very first photograph of a person
What?
was taken in Paris in 1838 on this day. I don't know whether I've sent it to you, Calvin.
Is it Maurice Mass?
No.
Oh, then.
No. But do you know what? I'll share it on Facebook because it's just like a street with like lamps and big buildings and everything. And it's a little bit, but there's a shoe shine guy and there's a posh guy with a hat with his leg up while the shoe shine's doing his shoes. But you can't see any moving vehicles or horses or anything because if you know anything about photography, it's like a shutter speed. The shutter had to be open for 4 minutes to capture.
So like super long exposure.
And so it was too long to capture anything moving. But they captured these people and I think, there you go.
Whoa.
Thank you very much for finding that. So for those who aren't watching, it's basically exactly as I've described. Look at the old lamp. You see them on Parliament Street still in Liverpool.
No.
But they've captured the first person basically having the shoes shined. How good's that? 1838 though.
Love that.
It was actually a technique. I wrote it down. A technique that was used for absolutely years. But I just think, God, that's an awful long time ago. And that person didn't know they were getting photographed and have been frozen in time on this 4 minute long exposed, pretty poor photograph. But that's a long time ago. We're talking nearly 200 years ago. Crazy, isn't it? Anyway.
Love that.
Right, do you know what? Think of a very quick t-shirt competition for us.
I've got one.
Have you? Okay,
Got
great.
one already.
Okay, great. And I'm actually going to read out all the new Patreons in the next episode just because we've talked about lots of other things that weren't even on script, but really interesting. So we'll say hello to all the new ones next time, but hello to all of our OGs and our current Patreons for sticking with us. Love you all. Mwah. Right, I am going to move on to... do
you want me to announce the competition now?
Yeah, go
on. So let me find the... There it is. So you shared a screenshot of your FetLife inbox.
Yes, I did.
Yesterday. And how many unread messages are in there?
Okay.
I would like our YouTube listeners to try and guess the number.
I mean, we could make it really hard and see how many friend requests I've also got. I ignore most of them, to be fair. Sorry.
Oh, we could do the friend request next week.
Okay. Oh, dear me. I will need to go through that now. Let's not do that. That's really embarrassing.
Close that. So, amount of unread messages Lady C has on FetLife.
Otherwise known as Caroline's Dungeon is my profile. If
That's
you
the
want to
one.
follow me on there, you can do. More than welcome. I don't promise explicit photos or fun a minute, but, feel free to follow me.
Yeah, you've got a gallery on there, haven't you? People can go back and have a look at
all my
loads
histories
of stuff.
on there.
Yeah.
From way back when I was a young whippersnapper dummy. There's young photos of me on there.
Yeah.
Okay, so people are over on YouTube. How
Guess
many
away.
messages have I got unread in my FetLife inbox? Do you want it to the nearest? Did you say?
Nearest number, yeah.
Nearest number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. While you're thinking, I am going to talk about a couple of tragedies which should never have happened. Not in this country and not that long ago. Not that
Okay.
long ago at all.
Okay.
We're going to Guatemala. It's one of the places I fancy going to, but it always seems a little bit dangerous.
Yeah.
All of South America. I was talking to somebody recently, Happy
Yeah.
Harry. He's been all around South America.
Oh, has he?
And he was saying that his favourite place is Chile, as they say over there. Northern Chile. But yeah, it can be a little bit unruly over there. Anyway,
Yeah.
right, so we're stepping back in time to the 14th of July today in 1960. And this is where it came up. I was looking for things that happened on this day. And when I read it, I was like,
That's good, though.
oh, it wasn't great. It's a big tragedy, but it's interesting. So, 14th of July, 1960, in Guatemala City, in a national psychiatric hospital called Frederico Mora. By sunrise on this day, 200 patients were dead. Many were burned alive in their cells, and the fire had started in the women's wing. Some said it was a candle left behind in front of like a religious image. Others said it was like left on in a sewing room. Others said it was faulty wiring. But that actually isn't the most important thing. Yes, there was a fire, but why were there so many people killed?
Yeah.
So by the time the authorities arrived, the fire was basically raging through this building. Eyewitness accounted it was almost like a living thing. So it was an old building, I believe, a really, really old building, lots of wood in there and probably materials that wouldn't be used now.
Yeah.
And it was just like tinder. It went up really, really quickly, apparently. Excuse me. And basically the smoke and flames engulfed the hallways in minutes, and people on the outside said they could hear screams echoing for blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The president at the time, do I try and say his name? No, I'm gonna make a mess of it. The president, he led the rescue efforts. It was a big, big thing. Firefighters, police, even Boy Scouts joined him.
Jeez.
Carrying patients out. Some were very, very badly burned, but others resisted because they were confused and terrified. These are mentally ill patients.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they're very, very confused. And obviously, like smoke inhalation as well isn't going to help that. A lot were naked. Some were injured from the fire. Others were injured from the frantic attempts at escaping. To try and get people out, they used bulldozers to just smash through the walls to try and get people out. But why was this? That's because patients were locked in rooms en masse, barred cells, locked in there. And in one particular room, there were 31 women. They were all deemed either dangerous to themselves or other people, but they were put in a cell together, a tiny little cell.
Wow.
And there was lots of these up and down, and the fire broke out on that end of the building. And basically, nobody went and unlocked the cell.
Just got themselves out.
No, they burnt alive.
No, I mean like the staff.
Oh, the staff.
You
The staff were
could have
bad.
unlocked them. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you a
yeah,
little bit more about the staff. But basically, a lot of people died. By the end of the day, 126 bodies were pulled from the debris. But they believed another 80 were buried in the rubble, and they were later retrieved for the most part. A 5-day period of mourning was declared, and relatives had a horrible job of going through improvised morgues to see if they recognised anybody. Survivors were housed in schools and local prisons. And this should never, ever, ever have happened. It was an old prison institution, which opened in 1890, and it had never been modernised, renovated. All of the old cells were locked in exactly the same way, some a bit stiff. It was very overcrowded by 1,500 people, men, women and children were institutionalised here. The fire was basically inevitable. It was that sort of building. It wouldn't have took much, basically. But actually, it was a system that failed them, not the flames.
Yeah.
They should never have been overcrowded in that space. If they hadn't have been overcrowded, they might have been able to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is not an isolated incident. At the time, there's quite a lot of cover-ups. And if you actually look online, there's not really any pictures, much said about it from the Guatemalan side of things. It's just sort of been
swept under the rug. Yeah.
But history repeats itself on the 8th of March, 2017. It was 57 years later. And another fire swept through an orphanage.
Oh.
It was called the Virgin de la Ascension Orphanage in San Jose in Pinula, on the outskirts of Guatemala again. Same place.
Jesus.
So the fire, it wasn't an accident. It was an act of protest. The girls had been locked in a small room after trying to escape the night before. So all these girls had just been put in a room, basically. But why were they trying to escape? They were protesting chronic abuse, hunger, trigger warning, rape. The authorities knew about it. They'd known about all this stuff going on for years. But rather than do something about it, the home that was supposed to protect them caged them instead. So they escaped, and then they locked them all in this one area together. And it was supposed to be a punishment. They weren't going to get fed or anything. It was a punishment for trying to escape. Now, because they were all enclosed, packed in, and obviously they were protesting what had been happening to them, I think in their child minds, they thought if they did something, they would come and let them out. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, on the 8th of March, 2017, one of the girls lit a mattress in the room and set it on fire as a desperate cry for help, basically. But the room quickly filled with smoke and flames. The girls were heard screaming for 9 excruciating minutes as they burned alive or died of smoke inhalation. And the guards were stood outside and did not make any attempts to unlock the door at all.
Bastards.
They left them in there, basically. By the time the door was opened, 41 teenage girls that had been locked in this room were dead. Wow. And the bodies were so badly burned, they were unrecognisable. If we think about it, there's a lot of bodies in the room together who are going to be on fire. We have fat, which is a natural combustible fuel, which is going to make every person in that room a combustible material, which will basically set everybody else on fire. Could you imagine what those bodies would look like afterwards? Unbelievable. Yeah. One of the survivors, there was a survivor. Imagine surviving something so traumatic. I mean, you know what my smell's like? Just the smell alone. Mate. I'd be like, whoa. No. One of the survivors, Cynthia Morales, later said, the cries from her friends still haunt me.
I can imagine, yeah.
And her mother, Ada Alfaro, added, my daughter didn't deserve what happened to her, but none of them did. They were just protesting what happened to them. Anyway, over 700 children lived in this institution, which was far beyond the capacity. And investigations reported physical and sexual abuse for years, but nothing had changed. Just like the institution in 1960, the Federico Mora. Thank you. In both cases, the people in charge knew exactly what was going on and the conditions that people were living in, because the conditions were visible and actually created by the guards, but no one acted. So what do we take from this? So at the time, these things were going on. I think the Guatemalan government were just like, do you know what? Just push it under the carpet. Nobody needs to know about this. We are at fault here, but we're just a South American country. Who needs to know about this?
We'll be all right, yeah.
But then, obviously, it happened again. And it put them under the spotlight a little bit more. And, you know, it was looked into. It says here the hospital in 1960, when they really looked into it, it was a proper relic. And it should never really have been, it should have been knocked down years before.
Yeah.
It had seen previous revolutions, coups, even earthquakes, but never reform. Patients were locked away, out of sight and out of mind. quite a lot were children abandoned by their families.
Fuck's sake.
Others are victims of mental illness. So these children weren't mentally ill, they were just abandoned and they were put in this place because they had nowhere else to put them. Overcrowding was very severe. The staff had a habit of locking patients in groups, including violent and vulnerable people together. That's cruel, see that? That's putting people in a very volatile situation. Now it's going to go off.
Yeah.
That's very sadistic.
Yeah.
Beds were shared, bathrooms were overflowing. The fire really didn't kill these people neglected in the end, really. They shouldn't have been treated the way they were. So that institution still stands today, believe it or not.
Joking.
No. Federico Mora still stands and remains as Guatemala's primary psychiatric facility.
Surely
In
it's had a
2012,
refurb.
the BBC journalist went undercover in the psychiatric unit, reporting horrific conditions, sexual abuse by guards, unsanitary living spaces, patients tied to beds for hours. The international group, Disability Rights International, labelled it the most dangerous facility we've ever seen. And nothing about the system has changed at all.
What?
So not even 2 fires and an expose in international and national news has made any difference whatsoever. So, like the orphanage horror as well, all exactly the same. It's been investigated and nothing has changed. However, 8 government officials are currently on trial for the fire in 2017. Charges include wrongful death, negligence and abuse of authority. But the justice has been very slow indeed. And I don't know why. This is like huge. And there's been a film made. It was created in 2024 and it's called Rita. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to look at it. And it's inspired by the tragedy of the orphanage and the girls escaping and then losing their lives due to negligence and I think cruelty.
Yeah.
Just, a bunch of cunts really, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I haven't got loads of time, but if you do want to look into it more, it's interesting, but it's a little bit as well. But my final thought on this is we call these tragedies, I suppose, and they are tragedies. A lot of people lost their lives, but they weren't accidents. These were decisions. These were decisions that people made to lock people away and punish them, and then didn't act when those people were obviously going to die in a fire. Nobody acted. And that is just not human.
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
How can you stand outside a cell and listen to screams of people dying for 9 minutes and not open the door?
Yeah. It's a basic human instinct, isn't it? You want to save
What
them.
kind of person have you got to be?
Yeah.
When I read the Facebook comments sometimes about some of the stuff that we put out there, and what we do is consensual violence, I suppose.
Yeah.
We are violent in what we do, but it's controlled, it's measured, it's discussed, it's well practiced, we've trained, and the person that we're doing this to is fully consensual, knows exactly what we're doing.
And so in most instances, in full control.
Absolutely. When you give
yeah.
somebody a safe word, they are in control, not the top. And some of the comments I see from people like, you're evil, you're unhinged, there's something wrong with you, you're deranged, why would you want to do this sort of thing? You're going to hell. I am, but it's going to be a fucking great party down there because all the rest of the Kingsters are going to be there.
The best people are there.
But actually, when you put what we do into perspective with something like this, me, you, and pretty much everybody I know on the scene, I'm saying pretty much because there's sort of one person, but pretty much everybody I know on the scene, I mean, as soon as they thought that somebody was going to be hurt in a fire, they would do everything possible, humanly possible, to get that person or persons out. Not one of us would stand outside of a room listening to people melting and burning to death and screaming. We just wouldn't. And so when I see the Facebook comments telling us how evil we are and how deranged and deluded and all the rest, mentally ill is the main one I get.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, actually we're not. This is evil.
Yeah.
What them guards did is evil.
Yeah.
And I hope that the people who were involved in the latest fire in 2017 get the comeuppance and the people involved get justice. I get the feeling, though, really sorry for those who are in Guatemala. I could be doing you a disservice, but the length of time this has taken to get to this point and they're still sitting there, I just feel like not an awful lot's going to get done, especially as these institutions are still open as well. If they really cared about it that much, these places would be fucking closed.
Gone. Yeah.
And these people would have been brought to justice well before now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, anyway, have a little look into it if you're interested. So, the Federico Mora is the psychiatric hospital that was burnt down, and the orphanage was called the Virgin de la Asunción. That was on 2017. I decided to put them both together, even though I found them separately by accident when I was doing research. I was like, it tells a story, doesn't it?
It does.
That nothing has fucking changed.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
T-shirt competition.
Yes.
No one's won yet. I've given them
really?
loads of
Is
fucking
anybody
clues.
close?
Yes. So we've got one that's 2 away, and we've got another one that's 2 away.
Okay.
So we've got 2 people that are 2 away, but they're both either side. So the numbers here. You one guesses here, one guesses here. And that's all I'm saying. If you just don't get it, you just can
But
fuck
they
off.
don't know who they are, so they don't. Because people
Yeah.
have to change their answers now. It's not.
Yeah, I've said guess as much as you want.
So-
So yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we are. They're rolling in now. No, he's all wrong.
I mean, it's a lot. Right. I'm going to do a quick dangly bit, and it's just a message that I had sent to me. So it's a very quick read, and I've had permission from Robert to read this message. You know who you are, my love. Oh, how we laughed over this. So, he says, hey, beautiful, I've got a story. Scary or mortifying, I'll let you and your listeners decide. Lol. When you hear that, you're like, oh, this is going to be juicy.
Let me sit down for this.
I'm going to, just get a drink and sit down and listen to it.
Yeah.
Me and my partner, Stephen, went out for my birthday on Friday for a nice dinner and a few drinks. We have recently got a new dog, and it was our first time leaving her with the other 2. So to put our minds at ease, we put the Ring doorbell on the fireplace so we could keep checking on them. When we got back, we got a bit carried away with ourselves on the sofa. Well, not carried away. We were at it like porn stars, he says. When we had finished, we had notifications on our phone from said Ring doorbell. We forgot about it in the heat of passion.
No.
We laughed about it and made jokes about doing OnlyFans. Hang on, I'm just flicking through.
OnlyFans via a Ring doorbell.
Yeah. About doing OnlyFans. Well, those laughs were short-lived as we had realised what we had done. What I didn't mention is my partner sometimes has seizures, so I like to keep check on him with the doorbell. The problem being, so does his mum. All the notifications we got while we were at it like rabbits also went to his mum. Well, when we looked in the camera videos with it all being activated, his mum had also investigated why it went off. Well, I think she'll be deleting that app off her phone.
Oh my God.
So she's basically seen her son and his partner fucking like porn stars on the sofa and getting notifications just in case she forgot about it. You're like, ding, ding, ding. Oh, he's come.
Oh my God.
So, yeah. Well done, Robert. But can you imagine how mortified you'd be? Right. I am going to do a quick fetish factoid.
These are still all wrong, by the way, and you've got like 2 minutes.
Okay. And you want an exact, don't you?
I want an exact, yeah.
Okay. Lovely. I am going to do my fetish factoid while you're still trying to guess the number. So, do you know
The Muffin Man. I can't do it. My throat's fucked.
everybody expects this now?
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, Katie won.
Ah, Katie won.
594 unread messages.
Right, so I actually did clear some of them yesterday. Not many. I cleared a couple of hundred, I think.
Yeah.
I basically went through them all and went, wannabe, knob,
Yeah.
all that, you know.
Yeah.
And deleted a load. But I've still got, hang on, because they have babies overnight, you see. I've got, how many was there yesterday?
594.
Okay, I've got 589. I deleted at least about 150, so that's mounted up again overnight.
Fuck that. No.
Yeah.
Switch
that's
it.
my
Just
fat
switch
life
your
account.
inbox off.
Yeah, it's just the way it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so do you know
The Muffin Man.
what pictophilia is?
Pictophilia. Visual something.
It's picking your nose. It's not.
Oh.
Do you know what? I was a bit of a nose picker when I was little, you know? When I was
Yeah,
very
yeah,
little.
yeah,
Did you
yeah,
have
yeah.
a bit of a nose pick? I was like digging for gold, mate.
Yeah.
I was like a gold hunter.
And you get one as a bit stuck. You have to work for it.
And when you got it, I mean, I stopped when I was about 6.
Tell you what happened to me.
Go on.
Driving here today. Pulled up at the lights. I looked down. I could see a hair on my top. I was like, I flicked it. It didn't come off. So
Was it going through your top?
So I pinched it. I went, fuck off, you lot, and pulled the fucking belly hair out. The tears were fucking rolling down me. And I was like, that's trying to drive.
Oh. But the big question is, was it attached to your arsehole? And did you go, as you pulled it?
I think it was. I phoned Mrs. G and I was like, oh my God, you never guess what happened to me. I said, I'm sure it was connected to my spine. I can't believe it, but it's got like little holes in the top.
I was going to say, yeah. So
Yeah.
Your chest and belly hair was sticking through your top.
Yeah, perforated through. Sorry, go on.
That's all right. Pictophilia.
Yes.
So you're right. So this is basically, my little line here is when your wank bank starts to look like an art gallery. I thought it was a quite good line.
good
But
one,
because we're at the end, I'm not delivering it properly. So, you know.
Yeah.
So pictophilia is a sexual arousal to pictures, not just any pictures. We're talking illustrations, cartoons, drawings, any pictures,
Okay.
illustrations, yeah? Even abstract art, you would have seen some of it. So it's not your everyday hentai obsession, that kind of thing. It's something more specific and obsessive and at times quite disturbing.
Yeah.
So I am not aroused by this, but I am fascinated by it, man. And I find it really artistic. And I think I've got a room in the house so I'm using as a studio, and I'd love to have some of this artwork on the wall. So what we're talking about here isn't like vintage pin-up girls and all that. We're talking about anime tentacle porn.
I've got you, yeah.
Yeah? Like surreal body horror illustrations.
Yeah.
Wildly like niched stuff like let's say like werewolf impregnation was one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Hybrid lactation, insects laying eggs in orifices, all that kind of thing. And they have porn as well. They create porn.
Yeah.
So it's not just, like 2D. They will create animated
Yeah,
porn.
yeah.
And it's often like, women being beasted by demons or whatever.
Yeah.
There was one, and there was like this sort of tentacle impregnating a woman, and yeah, it was
Been out there.
it was out there. Yeah, and it doesn't do nothing for me, but oh my God, some of the artwork's unreal, man.
Yeah. I'm the same. Like, I've seen it and I've been like, I don't really, like, I'm not into it, but I can appreciate like, it looks
Yeah, and
amazing.
do you know what I quite like about this? There's loads of subgenres with it. And because I just thought, I was just like, appreciation for art and have a little wank over it. But there's people that, have made a lot of money creating real or digital art specific for this kink. A lot of money,
Yeah.
especially in Japanese, of course,
Fucking Italian.
That was not Italian. Did it? Can you play it again? I thought it sounded Japanese.
Fucking hell.
It wasn't Japanese. That is not Italian. Okay, let's try and do it in Italian. Japanese. There you go. That's more Italian.
Yeah, it's a bit, yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Do you agree? Tell Ry on the YouTube. So, anyway, subgenres. There's this one called Futanari, and this is hermaphrodite characters.
Oh.
And I have seen some of them. Absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like real attention to detail, but in like an anime type style.
Yeah.
And I love it because the freedom that you've got to make something as beautiful as you want or as grotesque as you want. You can exaggerate breasts, balls, figures, hair,
That's
head shape.
Yeah.
There's something very liberating about expressing your sexuality through art.
Yeah.
Art that other people actually get sexual pleasure from. Yeah. There's one here called Gore and Erotica. So this is basically sexy dismemberment.
Oh.
There's actually a fetish that I haven't talked about because I think it's a bit too much. And it's called vorophilia.
Mm.
And it's about eating somebody. It's a
Oh.
fantasy about eating somebody else's flesh with consent. So if you want to learn about that vorophilia, but I won't do it on here. I'm not giving anybody any ideas.
That's a bit heavy, isn't it?
There's another one called inflation, ballooning body parts.
Got
So
you.
it's making things appear bigger. It's like I just said before, tits. They're, all
Arse,
they're
yeah.
like completely out of
Yeah.
proportion.
Yeah.
Vor, like I said before, eating people. And then expansion, so like tentacles, egg laying, mind control, slime girls, all this. It's like completely out there. Yeah. There's forums, Discord servers, there's paywall, Patreon creators who are literally pumping this stuff out on a daily, like fucking Picasso, mate.
Yeah.
Honestly, the money that's in this.
Because we were looking down other avenues to start, selling clips online, and we went on one of these sites, and it's just littered with giant porn.
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
I've heard about the giant porn. Yeah.
I was like,
I've seen
Jesus.
real giant porn, so people who are really tall and big, and I've seen there was actually giant porn on this.
Yeah.
There was other
Yeah.
porn as well. I'm not going to say what that was. But the opposite.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
called it something else.
Yeah.
Not very PC.
Yeah. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah. It just fascinates me.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, in a way, right? I was looking at the psychology, and it is a bit taboo because they could be looking at porn where there's like a werewolf beasting somebody up the ass,
Yeah.
looking like it might not be consensual.
Yeah, I get you.
So there's a very fine line, and it could be tapping into the psyche, outside of the psyche that isn't healthy.
The unhinged.
Because it's like, it might be, you're being aroused by something which is ultimately wrong, very, 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 very wrong.
Yeah.
And in real life, you could go to prison for something like that. But this is all artistic, and somebody is creating this for your pleasure in a safe way. But could it be triggering something else?
Of course.
And if you've
yeah.
got an arousal or something like that already, looking at it here is safe. But would it encourage you to maybe obsess over it and maybe transfer it to real life?
Probably, but you could say that about anything, couldn't you?
Of course you could.
Yeah.
And so, like any kink, in moderation, done in the safe way, and continuously checking yourself and your motives, then hopefully, it'll stay within the safe realms.
Checking in with your partner, your
Yeah.
play partners and all that.
So I found a little fun but disturbing fact here. So there's an online comic series called Insect Fairies that feature little winged nymphs crawling into people's body cavities and laying eggs. It's very beautifully drawn, I've got to be honest, but it's like proper nightmare fuel. But this Insect Fairies has got thousands and thousands and thousands of fans. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I mean, and they're beautiful. They're drawn beautifully.
Yeah, the
But
artists
they lay
are
eggs
amazing.
in people's eyes and ears and noses and bum holes and everything. Anywhere there's a hole, any hole's a goal.
Literally.
I think we should go on that one. That was very Townhouse. I said that a few times in Townhouse. Any hole's a goal. About myself. I haven't. I'm gonna go before I get myself into trouble. Sorry, Jim. Anyway, if you binge watching, put the kettle on. We'll see you in 5. If not, hang on, t-shirt competition. Was it Casey?
Katie won.
Get in touch, Casey. We'll sort your t-shirt out. If you binge watching, what? Oh, fuck. Just see you next week.
Go on,
Bye.
piss off.